How y'all doing this morning? First, I'd like to give honor to one of our ancestors who crossed over. I'd like to honor Mother Denver for all of her service to Houston and our community. I remember the first time I paid attention to Mother Denver. I was at Texas Southern University and saw her walking across campus with her hat on. She had to be in her 80s, her 70s or 80s then, because this was like in the 90s, man. And I walked her across campus, and we talked and walked. And I remember thinking, man, this elder can walk. She was fast. And anytime I saw Mother Denver, she was walking. And anytime I had a chance to walk with her, I did. For all of her service, you rest in power. The other side needed a warrior, and they took one. So Houston, salute out to Mother Denver for her transition. Now we got somebody we can call on that understands ancestral power. Whew. Okay, now that that's out the way, to our subject, which still makes sense, man. Which still makes sense because it's the process of life. You know, our elders go ahead of us, and our children are behind us. So, man, sometimes you have to ask yourself, what are you presenting the future? Have you presented the future with a change that it can work with? Mother Denver educated us constantly and regularly. If you were going to be in her presence, you was going to listen. But this is about our youth. When your children steal your heart, and when you look at them, man, you see the sum total of what you are presenting your future with. My son, well, there was a group of us, 13 Postures Academy, which is my school, and 5 Element Kung Fu, which is Master Magharibi, Hassani Magharibi, and Grandmaster Bomani Magharibi, which is the school that teaches my son. While we were doing this presentation for the Houston African American Museum, I fell in love with my child again, man. 5E is not the easiest Kung Fu school to go through. It's kind of like my school, the school I came out of, Transitions. The two masters are friends. Master Al-Wali Muhammad is my master. And Master Bomani Magharibi and Master Muhammad are friends. So I felt it was only necessary to take my son to a fellow school to have him trained. He's been at it for about 2.5, 3 years now, I think. Maybe. He earned his green belt, and they only give out 2 belts. That's green and black. That's it. That's it. That's all you get. And the day he earned his green belt, even I was amazed. What are you presenting your future with? I watched my son when he first walked into 5E. And he almost passed out. Literally. Vomit a few times. But that's the way of our schools. We put pressure. We put pressure on you. If you can't handle the pressure, you can't handle war. And my son stayed under that pressure. I saw he didn't like it. I saw that it was a chore for him. But I also know the future is coming. And I know there's not one generation in here that's doing a little better than their parents, because that's the system. But when I saw my son perform, and what y'all don't understand about performing in front of people, that's a test. That is a test. You and you alone, under the pressured eyes of everybody. Can't nobody help you. Nobody's coming to your rescue. If you get it wrong, what you gonna do? If you get it right, what you gonna do? If your leg slips from under you, what you gonna do? If you fall on your butt, what you gonna do? Or have you practiced to perfection? I got to see for 15 good minutes what I am presenting the future, and I am proud. I have pressured my sons all of their lives. I have pressured them beyond their age. I taught them things at ages that most people were like, Fee, I think that's kind of borderline child abuse. It's like, so? Because I understood what it took to make my boys men. To make a man, he must be put under pressure. He must be put under pressure that he cannot come from under unless he survives it. I remember sitting on the bench watching him practice and seeing the energy drain out of him. I'm watching his food fail him. I watched his mind fail him. And then I watched as his mind readjusted itself and learned to have strength under pressure. One point he laid out on the floor. Master Margaribi looked at me. He was like, "You gonna go help him?" No. You're his master. If he was laid out in my floor and I was his master, we'd just step over it. Like we do in my teacher's school, like we do in 5E. We don't pamper you. This is about war. I wasn't pampered. I remember passing out in class. I woke up with frozen peas on my head. And we got right back to goddamn work. Pass out button. Pass out button is simply your body telling your brain, enough already. It's the body's panic button. Dude, pass out. The pass out button is the body's checkmate to the brain. And it's the only checkmate that the body has against the brain. Pass out. What your future look like? Because I watched my future. And I was so proud. I was so proud. What are you presenting in the future? Have you taken the time to groom your children for what you want them to be? Have you groomed them so they can be what they want to be? Have you given them the courage to face adversity? Have you taught them to be patient with themselves and their own development? Have you given them room to grow into the people they want to be, not what you want them to be? You don't want nobody telling you what to do. Have you fallen in love with your future? Man, I was so proud. I was so proud of my child. Because I knew what it took. I knew what he sacrificed. I know what I sacrificed, and don't get it twisted. He get it from his mama. Yeah, let us not get all that twisted. Straight up. See, people thought this was a play. This is play. We don't play. Y'all play with your time. You play with your kids because you believe they're children. I believe they're adults in training. I never tried to keep my son a boy. I was always building men. Let me say that again. For the sisters in the back. I did my best not to raise boys because our sisters have enough of that. Our sisters have enough grown boys to deal with. Because some of these 34, 48-year-old boys have not been put under pressure enough that they understand manhood in that way. I wasn't raising children. I was raising men. Men that believe in the defense of their people. And if like my son says, he ain't all about this people thing, I'm cool with that too. Protect the family. Because our people are a little hostile. So we protect the pack. And I watched my son come into his own on a stage. He can never say that his accomplishments are because of me. He can never say people love him because of me. No. They love you because of what you have independently done yourself, my son. And I love you. And I am proud of you. I am proud of both of my sons. They have taken this world and made it exactly what they want. My eldest said that was something he wanted to do, and he went and did that. I am so proud. My youngest, he has set a course. And he is slowly achieving the course. Allow your children to steal your heart. Give them the skills that will make you proud. Give them the skills so when people see them, they are a credit to you and themselves. When people see your children, do they smile on you? My sons, man, they illuminate my world in ways that people have no idea. I love my children more than all the words in all the books that have ever been written since the beginning of time until the lights go out in this bitch. I've sacrificed my everything for my children. Fall in love with your kids, man. They not crazy. They're you in another model. How are you rolling that model into the future? Are you rolling it into the future with everything that you know right now? Or are you rolling it into the future as just a blank motherboard that somebody else can program, that somebody else can influence, that somebody else can lead astray? Not me. I've taught my children things beyond their age so that they could cope with this world and not be held hostage to it. Mind hacks, I've been teaching my children mind hacks since they were 3. How to influence people and they don't know it. How to change somebody's mind on the spot. How to talk yourself out of almost any situation. How to hold your authority without overstepping a bound. Have you taught your children how to survive their future? Have you fallen in love with your kids? Always be mindful of what you are sending into the future. Every generation has something to teach the next one to get through what they have to get through next. That's why it's okay to listen to our youth. I'm constantly asking them, what's going on? Hey man, tell me about this gender bending thing. I don't get it. My son was like, Mama, I don't get it either. It drives me insane. Blah, 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 blah. I listened to the whole thing. Oh, why do y'all mix up genders? Oh, Mama, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, got it. Listen. Listen to the programming that they are giving our children in school so you can combat it while it's still fresh on the tape. But you gotta listen. Gotta listen. Our kids are dealing with stuff we never dealt with. I never had police in my school. My son does. You couldn't get birth control at school, but y'all kids can. You couldn't get vaccinated at school. Now you can. Y'all know in some school districts, your children can get birth control without you knowing it. You know, in some school districts, they will vaccinate your child without you knowing it. They will vaccinate your child at school. And on top of that, feed your child nothing at school. See, when the Black Panthers decided to put the free breakfast program together, they did it because they understood nutrition helps the brain develop. Nutrition helps to keep us learning. Nutrition is so important to the human body that some of us have been so malnutritioned for so long, you don't even know what good food tastes like. I just gave away a whole bag of greens out of my backyard because I'm tired of grains. Do I recommend homeschooling? I recommend all schooling. I recommend all schooling. My child is in public school for this reason and this reason only. It's the theory of the sheepdog. I will tell y'all why I keep my son in public school. It is the theory of the sheepdog. When a sheepdog is born, it is immediately put into the sheep flock. So the flock understands its smell. It's no different from the flock. The flock takes the dog in as one of its own. And throughout its life, the flock will not stray from that particular dog. So, my theory with my children were, if I want my children to lead black folk, I can't take them away from socializing with niggas. Small niggas, big niggas, uneducated niggas, educated niggas, all in one place. Where does that happen? Public school. You want your child to be a leader? You better keep them in public school. Because other than that, them kids that went to public school can sniff out homeschooled kids, and they don't like them. In case y'all haven't noticed, homeschool kids, public school kids, there's a big ass split between those two houses. So yes, I keep my son in public school so he smells like the flock. So when he is ready to be groomed as a leader, he can talk to niggas. They don't see him as any different. He speaks their lingo. See, what y'all don't understand about some homeschool kids is they don't speak the lingo of all these other children because they're not socialized with them. Children that are homeschooled, I'm here to tell y'all right now, your children are socialized funny. I'm sorry. It is a horrible disadvantage that we give our children not to socialize with each other, because after that homeschool shit is over and done with, they still will not be able to socialize with regular children. Even as a teenager, as an adult, they're socialized different. So that's why I keep my son in public school, because you can send them to public school and still homeschool. That's what our elders did. Because see, when the sheepdog hear the command of the herder up on the hill, that dog move and move that whole herd. Because the dog is not loyal to the flock. The dog is loyal to the flock enough to keep the flock moving and alive. But the sheepdog's first loyalty is not to the flock. The sheepdog's first loyalty is to the herder. My son had enough public school to see the difference, and my kids still socialize with public school children just fine, but they were not homeschooled from the beginning, and that's why they can get along with them. Come on, y'all. This justification is killing me. Especially where I live, homeschooled children were not adjusted properly, and you can tell they live in a bubble. Nope, don't last long. Thank you. And you try to tell homeschool parents this, that their kids are living in a bubble that is unrealistic. And they don't want to hear that shit. But the system. Your child is going to have a hard enough time adjusting to the system because they weren't put under the pressure of the system. And you can't tell them that. I'm protecting my son from what? A perceived injustice that you are not ready to adjust your children to? They live in a war zone, and it's like you don't want them to see the war. Oh no, honey, it's all good. There's nothing happening here. Bullets flying all. Yeah, we're building a future with homeschool kids that my son is going to have to take care of, because where y'all are homeschooling them, my question is, what the fuck are you teaching them? Are you taking them to the range? Are you showing them how to garden? Or are you trying to teach them the same American-ass history that the school has been trying to teach them with less luck? Because here's the problem. A lot of homeschool parents still have to work. And I've watched homeschool parents get behind and catch up and get behind and catch. What kind of shit is that? Are you giving your children a real education? Right. Can they navigate on a global level? Are you teaching them 2-3 languages? I have yet to see a homeschooled child that can outthink my son, who has been educated in the public school and by me. I have yet to see one that can match his wit. And if you got one, send them my way, because I would love to change my view on this. They have problems with math. They have problems reading. They have problems socializing. And here's the biggest part with them homeschool kids, man. They be talking to me like I'm their goddamn equal. I'm not your equal. And don't let them make you feel less than a goddamn parent for sending your children to public school. Because quite frankly, them public school kids are better socialized than them homeschool kids. You can sit some of them public school kids down and actually listen to them read. And that shit has to stop. This parent shaming. I say let's just strictly look at the results. Fuck the method. Let's look at the results. Whoever has the best results, let's just say that was the best course of action for that kid. Who got the best results? Because from what I hear, even homeschool kids have a problem getting into college. They can't pass the tests, so they have to take them remedial classes first. Mine didn't. See, what we have to understand is this is chess, not checkers. We have to do all means necessary. Every means necessary. Any means necessary. How you gonna combat the enemy and you don't know what he's teaching? Okay, first of all, let's not talk about our elders dropping the ball. The elders did the best they could with what the fuck they had at the time. And I'm tired of people. I'm tired of you new agers saying that our elders did us so fucking dirty wrong. Excuse me. You forget that they were lied to. We constantly forget our elders were lied to. Stop blaming this shit on our elders. Some of our elders got on that boat. Some of our elders got on that boat because they were promised gold when they got where the fuck they were going. And they said that they were allowed to go home. Our people have been tricked, lied to, bamboozled, upchucked, diced, sliced, and laid to the side, flayed open, and allowed to rot. And we believe these lies about our elders doing us dirty. Our elders did not do us dirty. Our elders were lied to. Again and again and again and again and again. You hold your fucking tongue. I get enough of listening to our people downgrade our elders when they were lied to. They did their best with what they had, like you doing your best with what you have. Every time they lie to us. The biggest lie ever told is that if you fight for this country will love you. How many of our elders came back from protecting this motherfucker and died in their uniforms? See, I have a family member that we had to pull out of a tree in his uniform, homeboy. We seem to forget our history when we're making condemnation judgments on our people. Go ask the Native American. I know many successful homeschooled that are globally efficient. Whatever. Whatever. Do what's right for your kid, and we'll see. We will see the results. I get tired of fucking arguing with people. Show your fucking results. And if they're not your results, you can't have them. I get tired of people riding other folks' fucking results. There are many homeschool. Show me. Show me you did it. Oh, but you're in the UK. Ugh. I love how people from other countries try to tell Americans what the fuck. You living right under the queen fucking bee herself. Man, I'm not even. Results. Results. Fuck the theories. Show me results. Because I don't know too many homeschooled kids that speak 2 to 3 damn languages. I don't know too many homeschool. Well, shit, let's just be honest. Ain't a lot of kids in public school that know how to read. Results. What does your future look like right now? Did you groom your future? Did you prepare your future? Have you fallen in love with your future so much that you polish it on a regular basis? Well, you have to understand, in the UK, they even work differently than we do here in America. So they ain't got a leg to fucking stand on when it's talking to me about this. Not a freaking leg. Come here and say that. Come live here and say that. Because everybody around the world think they know how fucking Americans live. You don't have a fucking clue. Not a clue. Y'all see the propaganda that America throw out at you to make this a land of milk and honey. This is not a motherfucking land of milk and honey. This is the land of lynching and gunpowder. How dedicated are you to your future? Y'all having children for a purpose, or you just fucking? Are all your children oops babies, or did you actually make them because that's what you wanted, because that was the alchemy on the table? Or was it, oh well, if we have a kid, we have a kid. See, I planned my future. To tell you just how cold we were planning our future, we wanted their birthdays 6 months apart. So we had time to actually get ready for the next birthday. I missed that by 5 months and 29 days. Let me say that again. I missed it by 5 months and 29 days. It's called real planned parenthood. Well, Fee, how are they 6 months apart? Don't be silly. Of course, they were born 2 years apart, but we put 6 months between each birthday. We got a January and we got a motherfucking July. 6 months. You planning your family like that? That's called birth control. Yeah, and that's what I teach in that birth control class. I can't get y'all to go take. But Planned Parenthood get y'all motherfucking money every time. I mean, if you so into planning. I wonder if any of those homeschooling curriculums have reproduction. Y'all teaching them babies birth control too? How the fuck you give a fuck about the future and you don't plan it? Futures are planned. That's why the powers that be have the powers that they have. See, y'all be talking about 5-year, 10-year plans. They be talking about generational plans. And let a generation act like they don't want to uphold a plan. Let me do that again for those in the back. Let a generation of them act like they don't want to follow the generational plan. See, that's how they've stayed in power. They don't mind knocking off a couple that just won't fall in line. We'll accept anything. Even if it means changing the plan mid-stroke, we don't care. Fuck the goal. Let's just be compassionate right now. Let's not. Let's get to the damn goal. Well, Fee, can we pick? No, we cannot pick up people along the damn way. No. Only people we pick up are the ones we give birth to. Have you fallen in love with your future enough to engineer it? Does your reputation precede you before you walk in a room? When people see your children, do they honor your children the way that they honor you? If not, there's a problem with you. I fell in love with my future. I fell in love with my future enough because I realized my teacher helped me realize I had one. See, when I was in my 20s, I didn't think I would make it to see 18 because I was in them streets. I didn't see beyond 18. 46? I'm so into a future that I had no idea of. That I can do anything because I didn't think I would ever be here. And I'm not locked up? Shit. The gods have graced me. I didn't see a future at 18, and now I'm designing my future because I can. Who else gonna design it? I'm not gonna let Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer design my future. I'm not gonna let CNN design my future. I'm not going to let a talk show design my future. I will not be programmed in my future. I affect it. And I affect it by the human beings that I teach to send into the future. You gotta love your future like you love your now. And if we don't hurry up and give our children the things that we learned last, Y'all are watching a whole generation fall apart. You're seeing crack babies as adults right now. We are seeing the sum total of the crack epidemic. I remember when the first crack babies were born. Them first crack babies were born 10, 15 years after me. And now they all growed it up. And they're having their own children. We don't know what crack does. Third generational. We don't know what any of these hard drugs that they floated into our community does 2, 3 generations down the line. We watched crack demolish our communities. And we didn't bring it in. There's not one brother that decided that he could boil down cocaine, add some baking soda, stir it up in a baby jar. That's some shit somebody taught our brothers so it could come into our community, because our brothers, some of them are so weak. Money can persuade them to kill their own people. Power and influence is okay enough so they can kill their own people, because of course it's all about power, right? But not power to your people. Power for the enemy of your people. Good job on that one, bro. Fall in love with your future and you will affect it. I say again, I am so proud of my son. Performing at the Houston African American Museum was amazing. And I want to just publicly say how much I love my sons and how proud I am as a mother that I have watched these children grow into men, and how thankful I am to the universe for allowing me to mother them. I never saw children in my future when I was young. I never did. But they have made me proud. My heart just busts open with pride for my sons and their accomplishments. And I want them to know publicly that your mom is so proud of you. I am so proud. I love both of you. My eldest son is being sent to Venezuela. He's being deployed as we speak. And I just really want him to know that his mom loves him. I'm out of here, you guys. Fall in love with your future. Let your children steal your heart, man. Actively pay attention to what you are sending into the future. If you are not sending an answer into the future, man, keep your conflict to yourself. We only need answers sitting to the future. Only. And we must begin to tell our children how proud we are of them. Give them your pride so they can wear it honorably and happily We're always in our kids' shit, man. Let them know they did something right when they do it right. Love on them. Hug them. Annoy the shit out of them. But let them know you love them. Send your love into the future. Send your answers into the future. Build your children so they can handle their future. I love y'all. Be good to yourselves. Be good to your children. This is Master Fundife. And I always got my ear to the street. My ear to the street. My ear to the street. And to my soldier, I love you more than all the words in all the books that have ever been written from the dawn of time till the lights go out. I love you, son. Do your job. Come on back home.